director, writer, producer, Gino McKoy.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm blessed to be here, man, at
New York
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's my first time.
Let's start at the beginning. Where did your idea come from?
Wow. I wanted to see how someone would react psychologically if they lost someone close to them to alien abduction.
Okay.
And if that person went searching for that person, what would be, their journey and how crazy it would turn into, what crazy that journey would turn into. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really compelled me to do that, because I wanted to see somebody take it and see how they reacted to it.
How did the story evolve while writing it?
Oh, well, I was doing a lot of meetings with MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Okay.
That works at the Pentagon, and a lot of guys from there I know. And that really led me down that rabbit hole, speaking to former Marines and former military, and their experiences with UAP, and the whole congressional hearings that happened just recently.
Yeah.
It's a big testament towards the fact that a lot of the work that they've been doing behind the scenes with David Grush and these other guys are now coming to the forefront now. People are now starting to talk about it. It's no longer crazy stuff. It's real things that have happened.
It's a real thing in
it's a real thing.
Life.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that really compelled me to do something about it, because I got access to these guys, and you got to go through a whole vetting process with MUFON to really talk to some of these guys, because they have had real experiences, and that's from that point on I decided to write the movie, and I did, and I wrote it in 7 days in Florida while I was visiting my uncle. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So how was your scouting and directing process? How'd that work?
So I was supposed to shoot in a number of other countries before, but I decided to shoot in Morocco. I was going to shoot in New Mexico and a few other places in the U.S., but everything was shut down. I shot during the pandemic.
Oh.
Yeah, I was one of the only independent Hollywood features during the pandemic to actually shoot and finish shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, everything else was shut down. All my friends on the big projects, all the other studios got shut down. But some of them couldn't come and work with me on my project because they couldn't leave their projects. Yeah. Because the minute that the studio called them back, they basically would have to leave my project. So it created a very, very big problem for us in terms of getting our crew, getting my best crew out there. But I got a really good crew. I work with Larry Smith, who worked with Stanley Kubrick.
Oh wow.
My editor Tom Noble, who's an Academy Award-winning editor, who worked with Ridley Scott on a number of films. So I had my really good crew still. I didn't get everybody, but I got a really solid team to work out in Morocco.
You get people like that, you're gonna end up with a really polished product in the end.
Yeah, we put a lot of quality and work into it. Over 50,000 square feet of sets we built.
Wow.
It was the biggest ever on the African continent.
That is no joke.
Interior sets.
Even
on sound stages. Yeah.
Even compared with Star Wars and other things that shot there.
Star Wars had exterior. So George had the biggest exterior sets, like Tatooine in Tunisia.
In Tunisia.
George shot in Tunisia. So we shot in Morocco, and our sets were 50,000 of interior sets.
Wow.
So it was the biggest interior set build ever in the African continent, and the first sci-fi film ever shot in its entirety in Moroccan cinema history and African cinema history, basically.
Really?
Yeah, during the pandemic. So we went through all of those testing, curfews. The second wave of COVID hit.
Did you guys stay safe?
Oh yeah, we're safe.
Nice.
Yeah, because we're testing all the time.
Yeah.
I got tested over 100 times probably.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing blood testing, blood, and all that stuff and everything else, and the swabs and everything. So it was crazy because I lost my entire camera crew.
Oh no.
And I shot my A-cam operator, Raquel, who worked with my friend Gabriel Beristain, who shot Black Widow. He works for Marvel.
Okay.
And Raquel worked for Marvel as well too. So she was she came on and she had to take over from Larry Smith because Larry was in England because they wouldn't let my entire camera team leave because the second variant happened around that time, December 2020.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really tough shoot. It was the hardest time ever to shoot in the history of Hollywood.
Wow.
During that time.
Yeah.
And we made it. We finished it. And took a few years to come out and everything else, and we had our wide theatrical release, and then now we're here, at Comic-Con.
Now, when it comes to sci-fi and horror, that kind of is going to necessitate some pretty serious effects. How much was practical and how much was digital?
Oh wow, a lot of practical. We had a creature suit. I work with Todd Masters. Todd Masters works a lot with Predator. Did the first Predator with John McTiernan.
Wow.
John was actually supposed to.
You got a ton of names on your crew.
Yeah, we have some really good crew though.
Yeah.
I did CGI on it as well too, and also practical creature effects. Yeah, pretty much like a lot of it was like a lot of special effects and visual effects. But we built our sets though.
Okay.
So we had a lot of practical set builds, like I told you, over 50,000 square feet.
Yeah.
So you're walking into it and like you're walking into that alien tunnel and like you're really in that alien tunnel.
That's amazing.
You know, so we got to build that, and we only had 3 weeks to build all the sets.
Oh, wow.
So we were working like, we had 3 crews, 8-hour shifts, working 24 hours a day.
That's
And
amazing.
my art director, my production designer, David Dean Eber is my production designer. We did a lot of Bruce Willis's later, his movies that just come out in the last 5 years. He did most of his more recent stuff. And he had 3 weeks to build these sets. 3 crews, 24 hours a day for 3 weeks. Because we lost all our pre-production time.
Right. And
So
you're just down to the wire, having to finish.
Down to the wire, finishing, shooting. You know, shooting during the pandemic, shooting during the COVID. It was crazy.
Did you have to take any sort of, being as though you had such a short amount of time, did you have to rely on tricks of camera and lighting in order to smooth things out?
Oh yes, we did. I mean, Raquel had to work with everything else. We had to really, we had to create magic.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
we had to create magic. My colorist was excellent. Because he does a lot of stuff for Sony and Lionsgate. And he was, working magic with our stuff. We shot stuff really well, but at the same time, you still need your colorist to come in and adjust things and everything else.
For sure.
To get it to that quality level that you want to be at, when you're doing a theatrical release. So that was really like the whole thing about it was like our post-production process was really long to get it to that level, because to go out there.
Well, we look forward to seeing it. I know it's already been in a lot of places, but we look forward to.
Well, but it's on Paraflixx now.
It's on what?
Paraflixx.
Paraflixx.
So Paraflixx.
Tell me about Paraflixx.
So Paraflixx is the new streaming network for paranormal and sci-fi and horror.
Is it?
It just launched.
Is it under somebody else or?
No, it's all independent.
Really? Okay.
So we're going to be on Amazon and Tubi and all the other ones, Netflix, everything was afterwards.
Sure.
But my friend, she's one of the co-owners of Paraflixx.
Okay.
Right, and they basically had just started the network. It's like the paranormal of Netflix, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So she started that, so it's going to be on it this week. You can stream it this week if you want to.
Oh man, we're gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, so then it's going to be released on all the other platforms afterwards. We got to check it out, brother.
All right, Mr. McKoy, thank you so much for your time.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to meet you, man.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
All right.
I appreciate it.